We're buying puts and calls. We're buying puts and calls. YouTube. YouTube. What it do? It's Little Petty coming back at you guys with another stock market episode. Alright, you guys, in this episode, we got a lot to talk about. We got so much to talk about, it's not even funny. But in this episode, we are going to talk about my biggest loss in 2020 in the small account challenge of $618. Now you guys are gonna be like, Little Petty, what happened? I thought you had a plan. I thought you were only gonna risk 15% of your account on the trade. What happened? Man, that's what we're gonna talk about, and we're just gonna go over everything, and we're gonna go over the facts. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this lesson / update, and let's do what it do. So, as you guys know, right now it's earnings seasons. We got a lot of things going on in the earnings, a lot of opportunity. And I just do want to say the strategy right now, so in the small account, the strategy is basically selling premium. But some of these plays, the volatility has been so high that it's actually been kind of better to put on a different strategy, maybe do debit spreads. Selling credit spreads have been good on certain stocks, but some of these big movers, they just blow right past your strike prices, and you're basically getting stopped out. So we're gonna talk about that. So we're gonna talk about that now. Before we get into the charts, I want you guys make sure you guys like, share, comment, subscribe on my YouTube if you're new. And I want to focus on this video right here, is the stock market bottom in. I dropped this video 3 weeks ago talking about how the bears are going to continue to get squeezed. I believe that the bottom is in for the short term, and we're going to keep riding up until the last bear throws in the towel. So all you new people that haven't checked out that video, I recommend you go check out this video. It's 13 minutes long. It was one of my newer videos as I was coming back. But I'm dropping some bombs on there. You guys need to check out that video. Now, let's go ahead and grab into the charts. And let's go to the daily chart and look at the SPY. And as you guys can see, we had this massive drop. We got a pop, a bounce. We got the 1226 cross. This was the buying point for anybody that wanted to be safe and say, okay, we can buy on this cross and hold to the next cross. And you have been well profited if you have bought on any of these dips. So the trend is up right now. If you guys come over here and look at the Qs are basically almost at all-time highs. This is the all-time high right here. They have made a significant bounce, so look out for the Qs. The VIX has been capitulated. This is the daily chart. The VIX was at a high of 80. Like I said, when the VIX comes back down to about 15, 20, maybe 11, that's when it's going to be a time to go short on the market. That's my theory. We'll buy up the VIX. When the VIX gets about 11, 10, 15, that's when we'll be interested in looking at buying the VIX. And so now let's go ahead and look at the market watch for the visuals. As you guys can see, Friday was a green day. Everything was up. PG 3%. Everything had a green day. The bears are going to continue to get squeezed in this market until further notice. So let's go ahead and talk about some stuff. So as you guys know right now, well, you guys don't know, but I want you guys to go follow my Twitter, because right now this is where I am posting all of my plays. We can go right here. I'll show you. I'm posting all of my plays, everything that I'm doing from my big account to my small account. I'm dropping all the information. Sold out a BYND call debit spread for $114 profit. Bought this max risk 160, max gain 500. The play is right here. I'm dropping it as I'm dropping the plays. Dropping my watch list. Follow my Twitter. Links in the description. Now, let's go ahead and we are going to talk about, like, so right here. So on the 4th, on May 4th at 6:22, I said, will the stock market bounce today? I'm thinking buy the dip because the bears will continue to get squeezed. So if we come and look at this chart on SPY, we're going to go to the hour chart. Now, the hour chart, I've been using this for more short-term clarity on when to buy the dip or sell or get out of your place. So as you guys can see, we had this massive pullback. We had a 2-day drop. The bears were jumping in, I guarantee you, but we still had a lower high. And we come down, we got this cross. This is on the 4th. I was looking at it pre-market saying, okay, and I was looking at some other stocks like ZM. I'll show you real quick, because on ZM, on the 4th, they had already got the cross. So this was pre-market right here, on this day right here. You guys look right here, bam. So when the cursor comes up, this shows you right here. We had got the cross, so I'm like, okay, we're more than likely going to get this bounce because this is a volatile stock. So I made a play on this. I'm going to talk about that later in the video. But as you guys can see, I'm posting insight on the stock market before the market even opens. Is the stock market going to bounce today? Now, let's go ahead and talk about my biggest loss. Let's get that out the way. This is not fun, but let's go ahead and talk about it so you guys can get informed. Now, my biggest loss was in my small account. I ended up buying a naked put on the stock W, and I bought it on, let's go ahead and look up the activity real quick. Well, actually, I have it right here. So right here on my trading log. So I bought it on the 5th, and we sold out on it on the 6th. And if you come look at my activity, if you guys see, I spent $750 on it, and then we closed it out for $132. So now my biggest loss in my small account, I bought a naked put on W. Now, and it was supposed to be a day trade, but I got emotional, I bag held, and I ended up stopping out the next day for a $644 loss. Now, when I even took on this trade, I didn't even post a trade. Maybe I was just so emotional when I took it. I don't know, but I was just kind of like, I was so FOMO'd into it. And the reason I want to say is because I had sold an Iron Condor on it, and the strikes blew past it. Well, let's go to the chart real quick, because I actually remember now that I'm talking about it. So what happened was, it was on this day right here. Let's try to go to the 5-day, 5-minute right here. So on this day, it had this massive run up, and then I'm like, okay, I was thinking about going short, buying either a naked put in my long account or my long-term account, but I didn't have basically the capital, but I had buying power over here. So I was like, all right. And then when I looked away, the stock had already dropped down so low. And then when I seen it make this second low, I was like, all right, I'm hopping in. I hopped in. We had a little bit of profit. I was going to take the $150 profit. Then it bounced. And then I kind of got the FOMO. And then I basically wrote it out. I went to sleep. And then when I woke up, I checked that it had came back down to 700. So I probably would have sold out just to kind of make the loss small. But I was like, well, I'm just going to hold on to it. I got very emotional. So I was like, we're going to swing trade it. We swung traded. In that next morning, I was on it tight. I was watching it. It came down to about like $600 worth of value, and then it shot up. And then it just kept going up. And I was like, you know what? Enough is enough. I'm taking my loss. So I ended up cutting it out anywhere up here. And that's where the $600 loss came in. And I almost blew up my account. And the sad part was I was so emotional that I literally could have bought a call for about $50 and got my profit back. So it's just like trading is very emotional when you're putting money on the line that you know that you shouldn't be doing. And that, if you go over to, because if you guys have been following the channel, the objective is the max risk is 15% of the account. Now my account was $1,200. I had brought it up to about $1,500, but overall it was a no trade, and I bit the bullet, and I had to take the dust, and I took the heat with it. Now I want to talk about I do want to let me see real quick. Hold on. So with the W trade, like I said, we ended up getting stopped out. We went ahead and took our loss. And yeah, it's basically, I want to say So since this was this is my third biggest, either my second or third biggest loss in the stock market this year. My biggest loss was I had a $2,000 loss in one day, and I said enough's enough. I'm not ever doing that again. And then this one was a pretty bad one too. But overall, I'm still up on the year. But that's what happened with Wayfair. I got squeezed out. Because what happened was I sold an Iron Condor. It gapped up. I got emotional. I didn't short it at the top when I was already looking to short it, because it was so overbought in my opinion that I was gonna pull back. But as you guys can see, the stock had ran up. So we took note of it. It was our biggest loss. We moved on, and so I wanted to bring that to your attention. Now we're gonna go ahead and get into some of these plays because so from the last video that I had dropped, we had a Facebook Iron Condor. We're just gonna run through this real quick. I don't want to tie you guys up for too much time, but we ended up stopping out of our Facebook Iron Condor. So we sold on the Facebooks. We had sold an Iron Condor right here, and the strike price, we had sold a Iron Condor, and the strike blew past the $202 for us to receive that $120 credit. We stopped out on it on the last day, and so we'll look at the Facebook chart real quick, show you guys what happened. Facebook. So Facebook, they had their earnings, they popped up, and then they just kept running. So we had to we cut out on the. You do not want to hold these till expiration. You'd rather just sell, because if you get exercised, it's just a route you don't want to go down to. They're going to charge you for fees. So take your loss and move on to the next trade. Now, we ended up buying some VIX put credit spreads. I cut out of those. I didn't really like those. Those were they were just. I ended up cutting out of them. There's better places to put my money. Now, the Starbucks trade, we're going to talk about this play real quick, because the Starbucks play, this one was a good one. So let's go ahead and come over here to the activity real quick, SBUX. So the Starbucks play, we ended up getting filled on these put credit spreads. We sold the 70, right here, the 77.5s, or the 75 and 76s. Yeah, so we sold the 75, 76. We're still holding on to these plays right here. As you guys can see, boom, we still got the 4 that expire this Friday coming up. So, with that being said, this play ended up working out last minute, because as you guys can see, we needed it to be above 75. We sold these in the money, and these ones were actually out of the money all the way until Friday. So we ended up closing those ones out for right here. We ended up closing those out at a 63% for a $31 gain. So that was the play on Starbucks. That was linked in the other video that I dropped. And so let's go ahead and talk about the ZM play. Now, let's go to my Twitter real quick, because I had posted this play. I post all my plays except for that naked put that I bought, but I posted all my plays. So right here, nope, that was in my big account. But where are we at real quick? All right, so right here on the 4th. On the 4th, I said we calls on Zoom, June 19, 2020, strike price 790s, 190s, market open on first pullback. So we were bullish on ZM, and we're gonna go to the chart real quick, and we're gonna show you. So on the 1 hour chart on ZM, this was on this day right here, like I said, when we got that cross. So we went ahead and we made some plays in the small account on ZM. We ended up selling some put credit spreads, and we sold the 139 and we sold the 140. We sold 2 different on the same day, because the stock ended up running up so much. So we went ahead and sold those, and then we closed those out for a profit. If you look at the chart, so ZM, it ran up. Our strikes were 139, so we sold. Basically, the stock couldn't come below here, and it basically ran all the way up to about 160. We ended up closing it out on. We closed those ones out early, and we had time on it because those ones are going to expire this Friday. But we just took our profit early. We wanted to get the bag and run. So as you guys can see, we took profits early, $27 gain. Took profits early, and then like on how I said, we stopped out on that that W Iron Condor. Now, this is the play right here, the BYND play that we're going to talk about. So BYND, this one was actually the one that saved our account, because after our account after we hit that $600 loss, we didn't have much buying power. So we started that's why I closed out a lot of my trades, but also I wasn't really I wasn't interested in the VIX play. I didn't like the VIX play. The VIX play was cool, but just I feel like there's better places to put your money. I like my Starbucks plays, the ZM plays. I liked those, and then I also liked BYND. Now let's go ahead and look at the BYND chart. And BYND, they reported earnings. They had a gap up, so we've just been basically kind of bullish on them, and they have played out. So I want to talk about the plays that I actually did on BYND. So BYND. Now we ended up selling. We ended up doing a debit. We did a debit spread on these. So what a debit spread is basically, and the reason I did debit spreads on these is because I seen the opportunity to actually make more money. So there's situations where you will sell the credit spread, but then you'll buy the debit spread because you think that the potential to make the more money is there. So with this play right here, this play was a no-brainer. Well, at the time it wasn't a no-brainer, but we ended up buying we ended up buying 3 contracts for the 145, the 140, and the 145s at 21 cents. And we bought those, and those have been really good. We're going to drop another video on how I turned $61 into like probably about 500. But that's another video. But the play that we also going to talk about is this one right here. So we ended up buying the debit spread of the 125 and the 130. And we paid $166. And this was basically a small swing trade because these ones were going to expire in 2 days. So let's look at the BYND chart real quick, and I'll show you what we're talking about. So we bought it on this dip right here, and let me get the zoom in. So we bought on the pullback, thinking that okay, there's a potential that we can get back above this pre-market high, and it took 2 days. But on Friday, the stock had dropped down, and then it popped up, and the rest was basically history. We closed it out early. This one would actually hit a max profit of $500, but we sold out of it for $280. We took our money and ran, and that's basically what happened in the small account. So if you guys can see right now, the small account has about $999 in buying power. The max risk is we have put $1,200 in. So if we wouldn't have blown up our account with the $600, we would be up more. But hey, you know, that just comes with trading. And really, my justifying on it was I wanted to take the trade in my big account, but I didn't have the buying power. So I was like, yeah, but that's not how this works. You're supposed to stick to have this account over here, that account over there. But stay tuned for another video. I'm gonna be dropping a video on why I don't like to day trade, and how I turned $61 into 500, maybe even a little bit more. Yeah, I'm gonna cut this video off. I gave you guys an update on the small account right now. If you guys do know right now, like I said, there's earnings. We got a lot going on. I'm gonna try and drop another video. I'm gonna try to post like a few videos this week to keep you guys updated. But like I said, follow my Twitter. I'm dropping all of my stuff on the Twitter. You know what I'm saying? If you guys want to get the insight of what's going on in Lil Petty's head while we're trading in the stock market, I'm dropping all the plays. I'm posting this. And yeah, so basically that's it for this video, YouTube. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you guys are new, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, comment, and I'm out, bro.